No matter what you think of Jon Jones, he's the fucking best ever, and he's the pound-for-pound best fighter in the world. And he's the pound-for-pound best fighter in the world.
Yeah. Well, except that he hasn't fought in the last year, so he's not.
Because he got hurt. He got injured.
But if you don't...
If you were coming...
Campaign has already gotten pretty nasty. I think people expected it to get nasty now that there is a new head of that Democratic ticket. It's the Vice President, Kamala Harris. You know, you have joked before that politics is way nastier than sports or the UFC. But what we're seeing, I mean, there's a labeling of the Vice President as a DEI hire. You yourself have prided yourself on giving both men and women opportunities at your organization. What do you think of this message that attacks the race and gender of an opponent?
Jon Jones is ranked number 3 pound for pound in the world. Most fucking ridiculous, embarrassing, stupid, know nothing about fucking fighting ranking of all fucking time. Jon Jones is the number 1 pound for pound fighter in the world, period, end of story. To have anybody above Jon Jones right now just goes to show that you know absolutely fucking nothing. It's undebatable. Anybody who even tries to debate this with me, you're just hating on Jon Jones and you don't like him as a person. These are fucking facts. It's not like
anybody to call Islam the pound for pound best fighter in the world when Jon Jones is still fighting is nuts and shouldn't be ranking in the pound for pound or doing any of the rankings ever, if that's what you really think. Jon Jones has never lost a fight ever. He's fought all the baddest dudes in the world. And then when you think about what pound for pound rankings really mean, he moved up to heavyweight and destroyed the best guy in the world. As long as Jon Jones is still fighting active and in the rankings, yeah, nobody's pound for pound best fighter. Jon Jones beat everybody at light heavyweight, then beat the best heavyweight in the division like it was nothing at a higher weight class. So, I mean, Jon Jones is absolutely positively the pound for pound best fighter in the world, probably the greatest fighter of all time in any sport. When you talk about who's the baddest dude in the world, you put 2 guys in a room and who walks out, Jon Jones walks out of the room every time.
a lot of you guys in here, combat sports guys, might know the answer to this, but who other than Jon Jones has taken 3 years off and come back and looked as incredible as he did? Go in there and finish a guy in the heavyweight division, a division in which he's never fought before, as quickly and as easily as he did.
Maybe George St. Pierre, but he had a tough time with Bisping too.
Yeah? I mean, I don't know if anybody's ever done it like Jon Jones.
Yeah, it's only the greatest ones ever, so
yeah.
That's the show.
Guys, let me explain something to you. Jon Jones is a whole nother. I consider Jon Jones the greatest combat fighter of all time. When you talk about the Alis and the this and that.
Oh, and that, wow.
And let me tell you what, yes. I got Ali's picture hung everywhere. I love Muhammad Ali. Yeah. I love Mike Tyson. Jon Jones is the nastiest dude ever in the history. And I always say this about Jon's got a dark side to him, man. Jon's got like those dogs that'll rip your arms apart and do all that. He shoots guns. Jon Jones is a killer in every way that you can be. When the stuff was going on during, there was riots and people were spray painting. Jon Jones went into town and was taking spray cans out of people's hands and slapping them and saying, "Go home. You're not at my town." And
Jan Blachowicz refractor. Ooh, Jon Jones.
That's badass. That is fucking badass. Look at that card.
That's a very special card.
It's like the king.
That's nasty. Greatest fighter in the world?
We got a Jon Jones card that looks like a king. Are you kidding me right now?
I'm telling you right now, when you talk about who the baddest man on the planet is, 2 guys get locked in a room. Who's walking out? It's fucking Jon Jones all day, every time.
Pound for pound, who's the best fighter?
The best fighter ever is Jon Jones. Hands down, no doubt about it, no debating.
So you think if Jon Jones is in a room with any other fighter, he's the one pound for pound making it out?
Yeah, 100%. You put anybody in the room with Jon Jones, he walks out every time.
Gotcha. Yeah, I guess you're right.
Who's in the conversation for the greatest of all time?
Jon Jones. He's never been beat. He destroyed everybody at light heavyweight, which at the time was the toughest weight class in the company. And then he moved up to heavyweight, won easily at heavyweight. You look at what he was doing outside the octagon at the same time, which shouldn't be part of the equation. But when you do, wow. Nobody can debate who's the greatest of all time. It's absolutely positively Jon Jones. Nobody. Jon Jones, who's in the UFC still, has never been beat. This guy has beat everybody. And when you talk about real fighting, when you talk about who the baddest man is on the planet is, when you talk about that, the real definition of what that means, you throw 2 guys in a room and who comes out?
Yeah.
Okay? That's the baddest man on the planet.
the greatest fight, listen, I'm going to say it right here, right now. The greatest fighter to ever live, ever, is fucking Jon Jones. When you look at Jon Jones has never lost a fight.
UFC and boxing or just UFC?
Ever.
Wow.
Because when you really think about fighting, put 2 guys in a room and who fucking comes out? Jon Jones walks out of that fucking room every time.
The best fighter you've ever had?
Jon Jones. Jon Jones is the greatest. You could actually call him the greatest fighter of all time. Because when you talk about styles, do you know what he does to a boxer in a real fight? He mauls him, right? Jon Jones is one of the baddest human beings to ever walk the face of the earth.